She will play it because she's a crazy reviewer, gamer. Hopefully this song is shorter for you guys because she thinks the last one was too long, but she still is a crazy cat lady, you gamer. Hopefully this is the last one because like before, I don't like singing these songs.
Crazy Cat Lady Gamer Reviewer or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair use for educational and entertainment purposes.
Hi everybody, Martha here. So, today for reviewing, finally I got around to reviewing it. So, yeah, because nothing I know of is going to be happening today in the movie news or TV news or whatever, or no new trailers so far. So, or and not went to the movie theater today. So, finally got around to reviewing this one, and it's gonna be on there anyway. And nothing's gonna change that. So, yep. So, let's get this out of the way. So, you have to review bad movies when you're a movie reviewer too. I mean, it's not that bad as much as the other one I had to review that was like this. Anyway, if you are looking for a movie that's about dogs, look for the original. Because this one is not. This movie may be the night, but the bad side of the night. And it's surely no Belle of Norte. Because the one that was a sky in our eyes. And it was the Belle of Norte. So, in case you have not noticed that I'm hinting, I'm talking about the remake of Lady the Tramp. So if you were looking for a better movie about dogs, you could go look for the original, like I said, or you could look for Homer Bound, The Cripple Journey, or you could look for One of Dalmatians, the original, or the one that was made live action, because that one was made done right. Okay? Now, if you did want me to do my reaction to the trailer, you would understand why I found this one disturbing. But to me, if you're gonna make a dog talk, you should do it like they did in Homebound, where they could only hear what they're thinking, because you would not have to deal with the ugly mouth moving that they always do when they make a dog talk. Computer animation. And they put computers on top of a live action dog. Because these were live action dogs because they got dogs from the pound. At least they did that right. They got dogs from for strays and made them and helped them out. That's one thing they did right. But let's get all the things they done wrong out of the way first in this movie. And if you're watching this, you should know the story of Lady Tramp. But I might tell you that anyway. But let's go over the things that they done wrong. Or let's just do the things they did right. Actually, they got Sam Elliott to play Trusty. That's good. The whole entire spaghetti scene was pretty good. And that, and I guess I did not find this racist. I never found it racist, but they changed the Siamese cats into gray tabbies. But I understand why some people might find that song racist, but I never found it racist. But but I'm not from that country, so why would I find it racist? So there's that. And let's see. Well, I guess that's basically it. So, about this, so, now the bad. Like I already said, they put computer animation on top of dogs, and I don't like that. Especially how uncomfortable that would be for a dog. They did not train these dogs properly. They did not teach. They did train the dog properly. The only ones they missed was training, and the one the dog played Tramp to open a lock. Yeah. So, because he didn't open the lock when he saved the bulldog and Peg from the dog catcher. So yeah, and they like, what type of dog catcher is this? Does he enjoy killing dogs? Like, they always have to make dog catchers enjoy killing dogs, because he wanted to kill Tramp. He wanted to. I mean, in the original, he was just doing his job. He did not like enjoy it, because when they saved Tramp, when at the very end when they saved Tramp, he wanted to kill him. Ay ay ay. Like, what the heck? I mean, yeah. So there's that. Let me see. Okay, this might be a good thing and a bad thing. They kind of, like, rearranged the whole entire thing with the baby and the dog, and the baby, went with them on the trip, so, it wouldn't look like, that Jim Deere and Darlene were neglecting their baby and leaving it where the baby's not as young, because we don't, because I always feel a lot of people thought that they left the baby prematurely to go on a trip and not take them with them. So that part might be good that they changed that spot. But they did not show that Jim Deere Darley they did not do that little part where Jim gave her a candy, like when she meets Jim at the end of the fence, and she didn't give him candy and stuff like that. And they did a little bit chicken fight in it. So, basically. And I don't like the fact they made Jock a girl. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, it's not like Trusty and Jock are gonna have puppies together, because both of them are definitely Trusty's too old, and so both of them are supposed to be old doggies. And yet, I like Jock the way he was, where he was the one that was nice to Lady, but didn't make a move on them. And I like Trusty to where he was like the old soldier, and this, like both of them represent like the old doggies, and especially Trusty, he represents old soldier dog, probably, or an old cop dog, and he probably represents a Scottish immigrant dog. And I like them both representing that, but nope, you have to make Jock into a dog who was just mostly distributed to rest up, and that type of dog. You just changed him. And I like watching him do that little bone dance that he did in the movie, where he buried his bones and he didn't do that song. And they changed the words to "He's a Tramp." Now, I can understand why, because some of those words in that song was bad, but come on, you name the character Tramp. Tramp is a bad word itself, but you don't. They pretty much try to change the word tramp, but the meaning of the word tramp, where it means loner. It does not mean loner. Now, I'm not going to explain what tramp means, but if you are an adult, you know what tramp means. So there's that. And now they did change on everything of how the lady got rid of the muzzle, but they still had the beaver there. They didn't break into the zoo this time, but kind of like how they end up on top of each other, maybe look they're gonna kiss, so stuff like that. I mean, the love, and they check out the place where Lady and Tramp went to was on the mountainside, was not a makeout place, so that's true too. And that's basically the only thing. So if you guys don't know the story to Lady Tramp, I'll try to make it brief because I probably did enough on this one already. And so a new family, a newlywed family, get buy a dog, and it's around Christmas time, and Jim Deere buys it for his wife Darling, and one thing else I didn't like was the fact that we saw too much of their faces. That's also too. You're supposed to see it from Lady's point of view, and you saw Jim Deere and Darling's faces way too much. You're not supposed to see their faces at all, really at all during this movie. I mean, not those two, because it's supposed to be from their point of view, from the dog's point of view, and right at the beginning they broke it. So, and Jim and Lady gets brought into the family, and they keep her down, try to keep her downstairs, but she gets upstairs somehow and sleep with her. About 6 months later, she gets a collar, and she shows it off to Jock and Trusty, and Darling comes pregnant, and Lady is not understanding. She does not understand what's going on. There's a baby shower and stuff like that, and she goes outside. But they do it a little differently in this movie. In the original, Jock and Trusty explain to her what a baby is, but then Tramp walks in. But this time it's just mostly Tramp explaining what a baby is, but all in the bad way, because what happened to him. And she thinks the baby might end up replacing her. And so, like I said, they go on a trip. This time they take the baby with them. And they leave Sarah with the dogs at this time. And the cats trash the room, definitely more than they do in the cartoon. Definitely more in this live action version than they do in the cartoon. But the only reason, I think they're just trying to make it where she gets in trouble. But in the original, they wanted to go up there to get the cat's milk. But anyway, get the baby's milk. And kill a fish. So, eventually, Sarah takes Lady to go and put a muzzle on her face. Tramp and her get the muzzle off. Tramp shows her the town. There's the spaghetti scene that everybody remembers, and the song was pretty good in this. And then she ends up getting captured by the pound the next morning after he but not in this version, because it didn't happen in this version. Darn it! But that's what's supposed to happen in this version. So they get captured. She gets captured by the pound, and she did not have a collar this time. So he saw her earlier, the dog catcher, when he was looking for Tramp. So instead of identifying by her collar, somehow the dog catcher remembered this dog from one time he met him, met her, and she called the owners and returned um, to return the dog. So that's the only thing I can gather. Or they just started checking every single pound. So one of those two. So, and they came home a lot earlier too, because they came home a lot earlier too. So there's that. And so Sarah left, and apparently they're mad at Sarah so good. They're mad at Sarah for losing their dog, like they're supposed to be. Like, you're fired. Get a different dog sitter. Um, so, the night after that night, the dog catcher's looking for Tramp still. Yada yada yada. Tramp comes by, and we get to see that the bulldog and Peg get owners in this version. They don't stay in the pound and die. That's good too. And so they end up the rat attack there's a rat attack happens because the baby because rat's been around, and it ends up being in the room with the baby because it probably wants the milk in there. So lady gets put inside the door, and the dog catcher's there too, looking for Tramp. And because he put two and together, because he knew that Tramp was with lady, so he thought Tramp was near there talking to lady again. So while the dog catcher and Jim Deere and Darlene are looking around for the babe, talking to the dog catcher, Tramp sneaks in there and saves the baby, and gets hurt and kills the rat. But they think that Tramp was attacking the baby, so the dog catcher takes him away and is going to put him away right away because if a dog attacks a human, they get killed. So, but then lady, after they let lady out, lady shows them the dead body of the rat, and Doc and Trusty, but this time lady goes with them to go and save Tramp, and Trusty, Sam Elliott, doing a great job doing his voice. That's why I love him so much. His cowboyish voice, his restaurant voice, stuff like that. And he's the one that tracks down them. He doesn't get hurt this time. The one that ends up getting hurt, almost dying, is Tramp. So they have, and lady howls at the moon. Like, this is like one joke that actually made me laugh, because how they made the dog, because lady didn't do the bark right this time, didn't do the howl right the first time. So I don't think Cocker Spaniels can howl. So there's that. So this is like the part like after, like when Jim Deere and Darlene want to take Tramp home, the dog catcher is not letting them. Like, they want to make him a bad guy in this. They want to. He was not a bad guy in the original. He was just doing his job. Like, really? Lady Tramp didn't have a bad person, unless you want to count Aunt Sarah. But really, Aunt Sarah was just a person that hated dogs. So, really, Lady Tramp didn't have a villain, but they wanted to add one. So, there's that. So, they take Tramp home. It's Christmas again, because it's been a year. Lady's now a year older. And no puppies from Lady and Tramp. Lady and Tramp didn't have puppies, I guess. They did not want to make it where Lady has puppies too early, because technically female dogs are not supposed to get pregnant on the first time they get in heat. It's not healthy for them because they're still growing up. So the puppies that we see are two puppies that we saw at the pound get adopted, and they live with Jock. So what do I give this movie? Well, it's not as bad as Lion King, because I give it time, I still might end up paying more to this Lion King, but I still see so much charm in this movie, and there's not I did not do the whole entire face the whole entire movie as the other one, as Lion King. So it's not as bad as that one. So I'll give it 1 point higher than Lion King, but yeah. So I think I give this one a 6 out of 10. And let's ask Sully. So Sully, what do you give it?
I'm a tabby if you please. Well, I am a tabby if you don't please. Well.
So, what do you give it, Sully?
I give it 3 paws.
Okay, you give it 3 paws?
Yep. So bye bye guys. Like, her, subscribe.